Hello everybody! In this Python tutorial we're going to go over lambda functions. Lambdas are a type of function shorthand or inline function expression that allows you to embed a function's logic within the code that uses it. Lambdas are synonymous with anonymous or unnamed functions, similar to closures and blocks in other programming languages. Lambdas are usually created for coding simple functions, whereas regular def functions handle larger tasks. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we want to do is show you a comparison of a regular def function compared to its equivalent in lambda form. So here we have a function. We type out def, we declare the function name times 10. It will take one argument, x, and then it will return that argument x times 10. We have used a print to display, called the function times 10, and put in the argument x, which is 5. So this should return 5 times 10. And if we go ahead and select this and run it, we should get 50. And you can see over here in the console we get 50. Now here is an equivalent function in lambda form. We have declared a variable with the name lambda1 and assigned our lambda function. And to create a lambda function, you just type out lambda, we put x, colon, and then x times 10. So what comes before this colon right here you can think of as the function arguments. And what comes after this colon here is what you will do with those arguments or what that function will return. And in this case, this lambda function will take in an argument of x and return x times 10. Okay, so here we have used a print to display. We've called our lambda function. We put in the argument for x, which is 5. So this should return x, which is 5 times 10. And you'll see when we select this and run it, we should get 50, which is the same answer we got for our regular def function here. Okay, and you can see over here, our lambda function returned 50. Let's move on to our next example. In this case, we're going to use a lambda function with multiple arguments and return the sum of those arguments. So again, we have declared our variable named lambda2. We have assigned our lambda function. Just type out the word lambda. We want this lambda function to take 3 arguments, x, y, and z, and then we want the function to return the sum of those arguments, which is x plus y plus z. Here we have used a print to display. We've called our lambda2 function. We've put in our x, y, z arguments, which are 2, 3, and 5, and this should just simply add up 2 plus 3 plus 5. Let's go ahead and select this and run it. And we get 10, which is 2 plus 3 plus 5. Moving on to our next example, we're going to use the lambda function with the map function. So here we have declared our variable. We've named it power of 2. And here we have put our map function inside of a list. And this will allow us to display our function outcome in list form. So we've typed out list, and then we use our map function here, and the map function takes 2 arguments. The first argument, we have used our lambda function, so we've typed out lambda. It will take an argument of x, and then it will return x to the power of 2. So that's the first argument of the map function. Then the second argument of the map function is what you want this lambda function applied to. And in this case, we're just going to apply the lambda function, which will take any number x to the power of 2, and we're going to apply that to a range of numbers here, which will be numbers from 1 to 10. And just remember, when you use a range, the second number here, it will go up to that number but not including. So it will go from 1 up to 11 but not including 11, so it will go to 10. Here we have used a print to display the outcome of our map function, which uses a lambda function in list form. So let's select this and run it, and you can see here we get our outcome, which should be each number in our range 1 through 10 to the power of 2. Okay? So 1 to the power of 2 is 1, 2 to the power of 2 is 4, 3 to the power of 2 is 9, 4 to the power of 2 is 16, and so on. In our next example, let's use a lambda with a filter. So here we have created our variable name events, and again we've put our filter function inside of a list so that when we use the print to display, it will print in list form. We use our filter function, and very similar to the map function, the filter function takes 2 arguments, the first being the function, in this case the lambda function. And the second argument is what we want this lambda function to be applied to. Okay, so in our lambda function here, We've typed out lambda. This lambda function will take one argument x. Then we say, what do we want to do with x? Then this will tell us if the number is even. Okay, so we have our lambda function to tell us if the number is even. And then we're going to apply that to the numbers in our range, which again are 1 through 10. Here we use a print to display. We put in our evens variable, select this and run it. And if we've done this correctly, we should get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, and you can see here, we get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We're good to go. Next, let's use a lambda function with a reduce function. We've gone ahead and we've imported our functools module so we can use our reduce function. We've created a list with 5 numbers of 5. We create our variable named reduce sum. Then we use our functools module to access our reduce function. And very similar to our map and filter functions, the reduce function again takes 2 arguments. The first is the function here, and then the second argument is what you want this function to be applied to. And in this case, we're going to apply it to our list 1 with the 5 numbers of 5. Okay, so our lambda function takes 2 arguments, x and y, here, and then we say, what do we want x and y to do? We want them to be added together. And in this case, it will take each number in the list, it will go through those numbers and add them all together. Here we have a print to display the sum of the list using the reduce and the lambda. Let's go ahead and select this, and when we run this, we should get 25, which is these 5s added together. Okay, you can see over here in the console, we get our answer of 25. Let's add 10 to that and run it again just to make sure that it's working correctly. So before we got 25, and now we've added 10, so now we should get 35. Okay, you can see we get our answer of 35. Moving on to our next example, let's use a lambda, and let's use a sort of if-else statement within our lambda. So this lambda function is going to return the larger of 2 numbers. We have created a variable and named it if-else. Our lambda function is going to take 2 arguments, a and b, and then it's going to return a if a is greater than b, else it will return b. So then we use a print to display. We call the if-else lambda. We put in our a and b arguments, and for a we put in 10, and b we put in 5. Let's go ahead and select this and run it, and if we've set this up correctly, it should return the larger of the 2 numbers, which is 10. And you can see here, the answer we get back is 10. Now let's change this, and let's put in 15 for b. Let's select it and run it again. And now instead of 10, obviously, it should return 15. Here we get 15. For our last example, we're going to loop through a list of lambdas. We have created our variable named lambda list, and we have assigned our list of lambdas. And each lambda function is going to take some number x and raise it to some power. So in this case, it's going to take an argument x. What's it going to do with that x? It's going to raise that x to the power of 2. This lambda function will raise the argument x to the power of 3. And this lambda function will raise x to the power of 4. Now here, we're going to use a for loop to loop through the list. We're going to use a print to display the outcomes for each lambda function in the list. So using the I in the for loop here, which will iterate through the list, we're going to put in our argument of 2. So when we run this, it should return the answers for 2 to the power of 2, and 2 to the power of 3, and 2 to the power of 4. And you can see over here we get our outcomes. We get the answers of 4, 8, and 16. And we can see 4 is 2 to the power of 2, 8 is 2 to the power of 3, and 16 is 2 to the power of 4. Okay, so that's all we have for this tutorial on Python Lambda functions. We will be doing many more Python tutorials in the near future. Join us for those, and we'll see you next time.